And Wildcat Volleyball is back on the air. With that, we welcome you back into the Butler Center in St. Paul, capital city of the land of 10,000 lakes, for non-conference volleyball. Tonight, the Wildcats of St. Catherine University host Martin Luther and the Knights. Again, non-conference volleyball. The opener on the TJ Sports online St. Kate's calendar in 2017-2018 is on the air. A chance for us to reintroduce ourselves to you Wildcat fans. Our engineer is Glenn Thompson, and I'm Matt Nelson, so happy to be back with you here at the Butler Center, bringing you closer to Wildcats athletics. Tonight, volleyball. We'll also have basketball for you later on in the fall and the winter schedules. For volleyball, they've opened their season with a 2-2 mark, and tonight they host Martin Luther and the Knights. They're 2-2 as well out of the UMAC conference. But the big news for St. Kate's, a coaching change, as Todd Nelson, his first season as Wildcat head coach, and we had a chance earlier on to step into the coach's office, get to know him a little bit better, what makes him tick as a head coach, and where he's been leading up to this opportunity in St. Paul, and what he thinks about the roster that he inherited here in St. Paul with the Wildcats. Let's get to know first-year head coach Todd Nelson, and as tonight the Wildcats host Martin Luther. For the first time this year, the Wildcat Volleyball pregame show is on the air, and it's an opportunity tonight with the Wildcats hosting Martin Luther and the Knights for Wildcats fans to get to know the new head coach of Wildcat Volleyball, and that is Todd Nelson. Coach Nelson, we were joking earlier, nice last name, and good to have a chance to finally get to know you. For some of our listeners, that they might be meeting you for the first time, give us the quick bio, the elevator speech of some of your coaching stops along the way that led you to St. Paul.
I actually grew up in the area. I went to high school at Richmond High School over in Wisconsin. I went to school at Minnesota Duluth, played on the club team there, and I walked into our head coach's office after a few years, and I just said, "Hey, would you like any help?" And she said, "I can't pay you, but if you want to volunteer, we'd love to have you." And so I started coaching at that point with Patty Rolfe up at Minnesota Duluth. So I was there for 5 years. Started out as student manager, worked my way up to full-blown assistant, and then thought it would be a good idea to get my foot in the door at the Division I level. Went to Indiana State for 3 seasons. From there, I went to Marquette for 4 seasons. Then the University of Denver for 6. And then the past 5 years, I had been at Southern Illinois down in Carbondale.
Wow, outstanding resume. What made this job at St. Kate's attractive to you?
It was an opportunity for me to get a little bit closer to home. I got engaged in November, this past November. And
congrats.
Thank you. And my wife and her son have been here in the Twin Cities area for their whole lives, and she'd been pretty firmly established at Anderson Windows where she works. And it was an opportunity for us to be close together, be with one another. And so, we were looking, and all of a sudden the position here at St. Kate's becomes available, and did a little bit of homework. And what really sold me, though, was the people here. Meeting with Eric Stacy, our athletic director, getting to meet some of the other coaches, and then seeing the facilities. This is a great place, and every day I know more and more that I know I made the right decision.
You know, thinking about your resume, and there are Sycamores and Bulldogs and Salukis and Pioneers and folks all over the map. Who are some of the coaches that really have made the biggest impact on you? Obviously, you mentioned starting in Duluth, but who do you think has had the biggest influence on you as a head coach?
Patty Rolfe was the biggest mentor that I've had in my coaching career. Not only did I work with her at Minnesota Duluth, but the 4 years I was with her, she was at Marquette as well.
Yeah.
And so she's easily had the biggest impact on my coaching career, and I consider her not only a great mentor but a terrific friend as well. Dr. Mike Hebert, who had been the head coach at Minnesota for years, he has been somebody that I have admired and have had the chance to talk with on lots of occasions. And I really admire his demeanor, and I really admire his mind and how he approaches the game. He places the student athletes first, and then the volleyball comes after that. But he also pushes them to be their best, and that's something that I hope I can do as well.
Well, now you're really hitting close to home. I think we're going to be fast friends. I've spent time out in San Diego with Sherry and Mike, and consider them dear friends as well. So hopefully Mike will be tuning in this season and joining us from St. Paul. I know he's often listens to our matches, so that's great news. And yeah, like I said, it's their place in San Diego is truly unbelievable as well. What can you tell me about the coaching staff that you've assembled here? I've a long-held belief that a head coach is only going to be as good as the assistants that he or she surrounds themselves with.
Sure. When I came on board, Samantha Sullivan is our graduate assistant, but she also is the longest tenured coach on the staff. She's entering her 3rd season with the team, and I've leaned on her pretty heavily in terms of trying to work my way around, trying to find out how to do things that need to get done. She's been a really good asset for us. Catherine Guido is our assistant coach, and she comes to us from Defiance College. She kind of tracked us down, and I appreciated her go-gettedness, and she has a terrific playing background. She was conference MVP as a libero, and there's not very many liberos that get to say they were conference MVP. So I think she's going to help us on the defensive side of the ball a tremendous amount. Rebecca Zanevsky is also part of our staff. She has been coaching club and at the high school level here in the Twin Cities. She's a St. Kate's grad, and I love the fact that she brings a passion for St. Kate's to our staff, and the team gets to see that as well. And that's something that we've been promoting. And then Eric Poppelman has also joined our staff, and I've known Eric since my time when I was at Marquette, and it's good to have someone that I know and trust being able to assist and help us out. And he's got a great eye for the game and understands how to teach the game at a real high level.
We've got time for 2 more quick questions with Todd Nelson, the new head coach of Wildcat Volleyball. What were your first impressions? We'll talk about Martin Luther in just a second, but what were your impressions of the roster that you've inherited here? Has anybody stood out to you?
It's a solid roster. I like the group as a whole. As far as anyone standing out for me, what I think separates this group from others is we don't have a go-to. Mm-hmm. We have probably 3 or 4 really good players, and in the offense that we're going to be doing is we're going to spread things out, and we're not going to rely on one single individual, but we're going to spread it out, and we're going to force defenses to have to play us pin to pin. And I like the group. Now, our right sides this past weekend, they played incredibly well. Both right sides hit over 300. I think our outside hitters are coming around, and they're going to be at that same level. And then the middles are doing their job in holding blocks and allowing our attackers on the pins to be successful.
How much do you know about Martin Luther? How much of them have you seen on film this year, and what do they do well?
What I've seen of them to this point is that they're a scrappy bunch, and they are going to scratch and claw, and they're going to find ways to score points. And I think we're going to be in for a fight, and if we're not fully ready to play against them, they're gonna cause us some problems. They're running a 6-2 offense. I think they like getting the ball to. They have a right side attacker who does a real nice job moving it around. They have another outside hitter who does a good job of swinging high and hard, and we'll have to get hands and touches on those balls from those attackers. But I think we can take advantage of our strong serving game, and I'm looking forward to the matchup.
We are too. Knights and Wildcats. It's going to be a good one, Coach. Good to have a chance to get to know you. Best of luck tonight and all the way through this first season at St. Kate's.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, there he goes. That is the first-year head coach, Todd Nelson, for your St. Kate Wildcats. We're winding it down to first serve here in St. Paul. We're so happy you can join us tonight on tjsportsonline.net. As I mentioned, in 2017, 2018, we will have St. Kate's volleyball as well as women's basketball for you. Tonight's broadcast is interactive, so we want to hear from you, the listener. Let us know where it is you're listening from and who you're rooting for tonight. Wildcats Booth at gmail.com. Let's send it downstairs to Honor America with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner, and then when we come upstairs, we'll hear from our sponsors briefly, and then we'll have volleyball for you in 2017. It'll be the Wildcats and the Knights. Martin Luther on the road, taking on St. Catherine University. It's live. It's on tjsportsonline.net. But first, the anthem downstairs. And with that, we bring you back upstairs here at the Butler Center. Welcome you back in. Matt Nelson with you. Glenn Thompson in the house as well, engineering. And Tom Witchin, the boss and sole proprietor of TJ Broadcast Services, in the house taking in the action as well. We're happy you can join us. Again, a reminder, wildcatsbooth at gmail.com is our email address. Drop us and let us know where you're listening from and who you're rooting for tonight. Maybe your favorite player out there on the hardwood tonight. Tonight's broadcast is a presentation of St. Catherine University and produced by TJ Broadcast Services. Our website, tjsportsonline.net. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Twin Cities Orthopedics, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators, Klein Nissan, U.S. Bank, and Jimmy John's. Wildcat supporters also include Loeffler Business Solutions, McGough Construction, Shapco Printing, the Hickey family, Eckberg and Lammers, attorney at law, the DLR Group, and Daddy and Gardner, attorneys at law. Joining us this year in supporting Wildcat Athletics is E&E Masonry, the Newman family, Becker Floors, ProTech Design, and Munchies Frozen Yogurt. Proud to support the Wildcat athletic teams is Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. We thank all of those sponsors of Wildcat Athletics for making tonight's broadcast possible and enhancing the student-athlete experience. Tonight is a lot of firsts happening tonight on campus. Today was the first day of class for Wildcat students, which started bright and early at 8 in the morning. St. Kate's volleyball team obviously hosting the first home event of 2017 on this day, which marks the earliest home match for the Wildcats in 5 years. So if this seems a little early for you, and it did to me as I was driving down Randolph from 35E earlier on today, seemed a bit early, and that was because it was the earliest home match in 5 years. The teams have taken to the floor as you're watching along, going from right to left across your monitors and keyboards as the Wildcats, home purple jerseys trimmed in white with yellow numerals, and the black shorts on the opposite side of the net visiting Knights from Martin Luther College. The red tops trimmed in white with white numerals, and the black trunks as well. The libero over there wearing black, Taylor Weber. And for the Wildcats, it's the sophomore Larissa Kish, sophomore out of Oakdale, who attended Cretin-Durham Hall High School. Kish is ready to go. Todd Nelson is locked and loaded for this first match of 2017 in the Butler Center. Megan Schwarzrock is back and ready to serve. This team, as it has in past seasons, serves very tough. That has been the case as well this year. Schwarzrock, sophomore out of Hutchinson, raises her right hand, and off we go with an ace. And the first serve of the night is an ace for Schwarzrock, the sophomore, as she handcuffed, stayed in the back row. The freshman out of Watertown couldn't handle it. Here comes another bullet and nearly another ace, but it was chased down by Stade and then bumped over by Grev out of the back row. Wildcats will try setting that left side. Baker couldn't put it down. It's bumped back over. Kish kept it alive, but nobody was home. A diving Schwarzrock couldn't keep it alive, and it's the first point of the night for the Knights here in set one in St. Paul. Martin Luther won, St. Kate's won. Todd Nelson, the first-year head coach for St. Kate's. Rebecca Cox in her 9th season with Martin Luther and a kill, first of the night for the Wildcats. It's Peyton Baker. Peyton Baker, the junior out of Forest Lake. Baker, 1.5 kills per set, hitting 102 on the season is Baker, and she has her first. It's 2-1 Wildcats. Baker will serve. Setting Stade in the middle, swinging away off the left side was St. Germain. The Wildcats were there, tipped out of the middle and sent right back by Martin Luther. Now dug out of the back row by Weber. They'll set St. Germain and she'll score through a double block that was a little bit late getting there. It was Brewer and Pepper trying to close it out. St. Germain just over 2 kills per set. She has her first, and we're all tied up at 2 apiece. Wildcats, they earned their first wins of the season last weekend with 2 wins over Marymount and Goucher at the Virginia Wesleyan tournament in Norfolk out in Virginia. A couple of 3-1 victories, as that's going to be 4 hits against Martin Luther and a 3-2 lead for St. Kate's. 3-1 win over the Saints before earning a 3-1 comeback win over Goucher in the final match of the day at that tournament in Virginia. Kelly Brewer serving. Stade sets right side. That's turned away but kept alive by Buckholtz in the middle. Now a roll shot out of the back row. Weber. Wildcats will go to the left side. Libby Cruiser couldn't put that one down. Now St. Germain gets a rip at it for Martin Luther, and she's got the kill. Kelly Brewer couldn't handle Jade St. Germain. St. Germain with her second kill, and we're tied at 3 apiece. We welcome you to St. Paul set 1 action. Our broadcast is interactive. We want to hear from you, the listener. Let us know where it is you're listening from tonight. Wildcats booth at gmail.com. Right side attacking and scoring was Mackenzie Pepper. The junior out of Osceola as her first kill. And Mackenzie Pepper and Lizzie Cruiser, they were the spark plugs in the Wildcats' 3-1 win over Goucher on Saturday. The 2 Wildcats had a combined hitting percentage of .488 after combining for 22 kills and just a 1 error in 4 sets. Cruiser also had 6 aces. St. Germain rolls it out of bounds, and it's 5-3 Wildcats. So holding a 2-point lead, it's Jonna Radke, the southpaw, serving away. Good pass for Martin Luther. They'll set St. Germain, who was turned away, but Weber kept it alive. Now tipped and blocked. The Wildcats have their first block of the night. It's Carmen and Flatness teaming up on the first block for either team, and it's 6-3. Radke back again to serve. And again, she fires away right at Hackbarth. Into the middle, turned away, kept alive by Moldenhauer. Now right side, St. Germain dug out of the back row by the Wildcats. To the right side, attacking and missing long on a hitting error was Emily Carmen. Carmen hitting 188 on the season. That one, though, was long. So far this season, 4 undefeated teams in non-conference play sit atop the MIAC as Weber digs that one out. It'll be bumped over by Moldenhauer. Now Radke will go over on second contact and score it. Nicely done, Jonna Radke. The junior, now an upperclassman, and that was an upperclassman type move, going over on second contact and scoring her first kill. 7-4 now the score. Wildcats on top in set number 1. Cruiser serves, worked ahead. Moldenhauer sets left side, and Kira Grev has her first kill of the night. Grev is a senior out of Oakdale, and she's averaging 2.5 kills per set. She has her first for Martin Luther. Comes into this one with a 2-2 record. And they've got their first ace of the night as Baker couldn't handle the serve from from Taylor Weber. So the first service ace for the night, second of the match. Wildcats had the first. Radke sets Baker left side through the block, dug out of the back row. Moldenhauer sets left side, and that one is long. A hitting error for Kira Grev. And it ties us at 7-all. So 7-7. Now they're saying that that was touched at the net, I believe, so they're going to say that's a point for Martin Luther. So a tough break for the Wildcats. It's 7-all. Kish, good pass for Radke. She'll set the right side, and it's smoked down. Emily Carmen. All right, it took a whistle, but Carmen has her first kill of the night, and the Wildcats recapture the lead at 8-7. So far, undefeated in non-conference play, St. Olaf, Gustavus, Bethel, and the Augies. Into the middle we go. It's Weissensell, and she misfired. Riley Weissensell, senior out of New Ulm. 1 1/3 kills per set. And she misses. It puts the Wildcats on top by 2. Kish fires away. Grev works it ahead to the right side. Attacking there through the net and scoring was Mariah Hackbarth. Hackbarth, the junior out of Lake Mills, Wisconsin, has her first kill. Close one here early. 9-8 lead for St. Kate's. If you're listening along, reach out to the booth. Let us know where you're listening from. Wildcats booth at gmail.com. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. Right side attack, kept alive Carmen. Chased down by Grev, bumped over Kish. Now Radke into the middle, and it's tipped over for a point. Kelly Brewer. So Kelly Brewer has her first kill. St. Kate's pushes their lead to 2, and they're the first to double digits at 10-8. Forsrock serving, attacking was Grev. Wildcats keep it alive. Baker fires, dug out of the back row. Moldenhauer. Now left-hand side try by Grev is blocked. Oh, it was stymied. Brewer and Pepper on the block. Second of the night for St. Kate's. They have a 2-0 advantage on the blocking scoreboard, and they lead it by 3, 11-8. Hopped up Weber. Now left side goes Martin Luther. That's Schultz. Wildcats are there to dig it out. Little left-handed push out of the middle for Brewer, and that's all that it takes. Kelly Brewer has her second kill. The sophomore out of St. Paul, St. Croix Lutheran High School, sends us to a timeout. Rebecca Cox has to use her first, and the Wildcats lead early, 12-8. Proud sponsor of Wildcat Athletics since 1971, the Universal Athletic Team. They've been passionate about fueling the dreams of athletes, and they put their know-how into doing just that by servicing and selling athletic gear to local athletes, high schools, and colleges. Universal Athletic has dedicated its heart and soul to the support of sports, fitness, and health programs in schools and communities. If you're listening along tonight, as we bring you through tonight's non-conference action from St. Paul, let us know where you're listening from and who you're rooting for. We got our first email into Wildcats booth wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Again, it's wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Get out your iPads, your laptops, your smartphones, whatever it is that you email from, and send us a note. First service error of the night for St. Kate's. Bailey Brownlee misfired long. Miranda Sweeley writes in, and she's watching tonight from Duluth, Minnesota, where I imagine it's normally 15 to 20 degrees cooler up there in Duluth, as the Wildcats scored again in the middle, and that's been a good place for the Wildcats to go. This time again, it's Kelly Brewer, and Miranda is cheering on the Wildcats, and especially number 10. No great shocker there. It's Victoria Sweeley, the freshman outside hitter, 5'9", out of Fernando, Minnesota. So welcome, Miranda. Thank you for tuning in tonight and rooting on the Wildcats. Close first set for you from St. Paul, 13-10 right now. And Weissensell back to serve. She comes up short on a service error. First of the night for Martin Luther College and the Knights. So let us know where you're listening from. wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. It'll be that same email address not only for volleyball, but also for basketball all season long. Another ace for the Wildcats. Their second. Kelly Brewer has had a great first set, 3 kills, and now an ace. Puts the Wildcats on top by 5. It's 15-10, and that one again, Grev had a tough time handling. Back row try as well, short. Grace Schultz looked a tad bit indecisive as she approached that one, and again, the tough serving for the Wildcats. That doesn't go down as an ace, but it might as well have. 16-10, another knuckling serve. That one was close, but just over the line, an error. Tough serving, though, from Brewer. And it's 16-11. It's one thing coaches will tell you, sometimes the ace and error chart won't necessarily show you how tough you are serving. A serve that forces a errant pass or a poor pass sometimes is just as good as firing the ace. Pepper right side, that's down for a kill, and it's 17-11. Mackenzie Pepper has her second kill. She's averaging 2 1/4 per set. So she's right on her season's average, and it's 17-11. Wildcats in firm control of this first set on their home court. Low backspinning serve dug out as Martin Luther has to just bump it over the net, and it's long. St. Germain misfires long on a hitting error, and it's 18-11. (18-11) score. Wildcats in control, and right now Martin Luther having all kinds of trouble in the hitting column. Ruth Buchholz, the sophomore out of Phoenix, missed wildly on that last try, and we've got another timeout taken on the floor. 19-11. Wildcats running away with this first set, providing innovative food and beverage solutions since 1955 is a Midwest Vending, servicing organizations large and small throughout the Twin Cities, including the St. Catherine University. Proud to offer unwavering integrity, in-demand products, innovative technology, and personal attention. Give them a call at 952-707-1990 or visit MidwestVending.com. We break with the Wildcats on top, 19-11, set 1 from St. Paul. WildcatsBooth@gmail.com is our inbox address if you're listening along or watching along tonight on TJSportsOnline.net from the Butler Center. Diane writes in, Grandpa and Grandma are watching tonight from Little Falls, Minnesota. So they opted to stay in tonight and watch volleyball on this Wednesday night. Good decision if you're asking me. Then again, I'm very biased. St. Germain turned away, kept alive. Weber kept alive by Grev, but it falls short of the net, and it's 20-11. The Wildcats are up 9 in this first set. Boy, oh boy. The Wildcats, very nice showing in Todd Nelson's first set here at the Butler Center. Left side, turned away was Hackbarth. She kept it alive. Now a little joust in the middle. Wildcats will hit the reset button and set Libby Cruiser, who scores. Cruiser, the sophomore out of White Bear Lake, Minnesota, went to Totino Grace High School. 2 kills per set. She has her first. She's also been really tough serving the volleyball. She's got 10 aces this season. The Wildcats are up by double digits. It's 21-11. Into the middle goes Martin Luther, and they finally snap that long St. Kate's run. They go into the middle and find Buckholtz. Buckholtz missed on her first try out of the middle. This one much better as she scores. It's 21-12. Top spinning serve handled easily by Kish. Left side swinging away there was Cruiser. Martin Luther has to settle for Weber bumping it over. Baker chases it down, and Kish pays the favor right on back to Weber, her counterpart. Right side swing. Oh, it was blocked right in the middle. Solo block. Flatness, her first. Third block of the night for St. Kate's. The middles have really played well. You talked to some of the people around the program. They felt that they were going to be good from the service line, good on the pins, and mix and match in the middle. But the middles have played a particularly good first set, and ace! Third service ace of this first set. It belongs to the sophomore Cruiser, as the Wildcats are doing just that, cruising in the first set, 23-12. 11-point lead. Cruiser at the service line. That got the bounce on the tape. Weber hung in there to keep it alive. So did Moldenhauer, and it's just bumped over. Radke into the middle. And Flatness has her first kill of this first set. And it brings a big roar from the nice crowd here at the Butler Center as it's set point 24-12. Still Cruiser at the service line. 24-12 the score. Another very tough, wicked serve. Brev did well just to keep it alive. She'll get a swing at it. Was turned away and bumped it right back out of bounds. And the Wildcats win set number 1. 25-12. The Wildcats win set number 1. It was all St. Kate's. I believe at one point it was 10-8. That would be a 15-4 run to close out the first set if my arithmetic is correct. We're counting on fingers and toes up here tonight. So I think it was a 15-4 run to close out that first set. Transporting Wildcat athletes is in the capable hands of Northfield Lines Incorporated. They're dedicated to ensuring your travel experience is a positive one. So give them a call to request a quote or to make a reservation at 888-670-8068 or check out their website, northfieldlines.com. Wildcats win set 1, 25-12. Twin Cities Orthopedics offers a full spectrum of orthopedic care to individuals suffering sports-related problems and injuries. Their doctors are team physicians to the University of St. Catharines, Augsburg College, Hamline University, and others. Visit tcomn.com and drop us an email up here in the Wildcats booth. An email address appropriately so, wildcatsbooth@gmail.com. Set one was all St. Kate's 25-12 behind 3 kills and a couple of aces from Kelly Brewer. Got the Wildcats rolling early for their first-year head coach, Todd Nelson. As we head to set number 2, really Martin Luther wasn't able to get anything going. And they really did not find any momentum that they could bring with them into this second set. Very nice crowd out here tonight at the Butler Center. Just about full. It was the first day of class. Over the summer, St. Kate's received the ABCA Academic Team Award for the 11th straight season, one of the longest streaks in the MIAC. In order to earn the award, high school and college volleyball teams must hold a cumulative GPA of 3.30 during the academic year. The Wildcats were one of 150 teams from Division III and 8 teams from the MIAC to receive that honor. And again, that's for the 11th straight season for St. Kate's. So this team, you know, they get it done on the hardwood. They go to practice, then they go to class and absolutely perform at a high level in there as well, getting a 3.30 GPA as a team. Outstanding stuff. Let's get back to work. It's the second set with Kish setting in the middle, and why not? The Wildcats go right back to the well and get the middles going early here in set number 2. Brewer scores her 4th kill of this set, and it's a 1-0 lead again for St. Kate's. Wildcats in that first set hit 474 as a group. Martin Luther hit a negative 143, and that one's going to fall out of bounds and be another point for St. Kate's. It's 2-0. St. Kate's, according to the official book, I had them for 3 blocks. They had them for 5. Flatness was in on 4 of them. This one tapped over. Kish chases it down, but knocked it over in the process. Good job to keep that one alive by Baker out of the back row. Big swing cruiser left side. Dug out by Martin Luther. Attacking with Schultz off of the right side pin. Now cruiser again. That's dug out of the back row by Weber. Back and forth we go. Our best rally of the evening. Kish for cruiser. She nailed it. Cruiser's second kill wins the best rally of the night for St. Kate's. It's 3-0, and Martin Luther has found themselves thoroughly on the ropes if this were a boxing match early. Dropping the first set 25-12 and now falling behind 3-0 here. And in set number 2, Kish, nice looking set, but Pepper was turned away on a block. That time blocking was Weissensell. And I think Grev was in there as well. Grev goes back to serve. Grev in on the block. It's 3-1. That's the first block of the night for Martin Luther. They were thoroughly outclassed in the blocking game in set number 1. Nice looking pass ahead. Cruiser, the miss hit. Hitting error for Libby Cruiser. A rare hitting error. She's been so good this year, hitting .231. That time, though, just mishit it. Came up short after the set by Schwarzrock. 3-2. A couple of points back-to-back for Martin Luther, but a good swing and a kill, Mackenzie Pepper. Pepper's 3rd kill pushes the Wildcat lead to 4-2. 4-2 lead, now 4-3 as Martin Luther finds Grace Schultz on that right pin, and the senior out of Elkhorn, Wisconsin, has her first kill. It's a 1-point set, 4-3. Weissensell at the service line. Wildcat set. Cruiser, she took a little off of it. Cruiser having a nice night as she goes to the tip shot for her 3rd kill. 5-3 now the score. St. Kate's student athletes, 7 different majors are represented on this volleyball team. The most popular majors, nursing, exercise, and sports science. But student athletes are also pursuing degrees in psychology, chemistry, criminal justice, biology, and business. So a little all over the place on the majors, declared majors for St. Kate's. 5-4 now your score as Martin Luther sends Emily Byhart into the fold for the first time tonight. Byhart to the service line. Knuckling serve passed beautifully ahead for Radke. Swinging away right in system is Emily Carmen. That just looked right routine. It just looked beautiful. Perfect pass. Radke with a nice set. Carmen came up and smacked it, and it's 6-4 now, your score. That was a beauty. Tough serve as Weber pushes ahead. There's St. Germain, and St. Germain hits her best shot of the night. Her third kill as that one finds the back corner. Elsewhere on the MIAC, I mentioned the 4 teams in this conference: Augsburg, Bethel, Gustavus, and St. Olaf, all undefeated. St. Mary's, St. Thomas, and Carleton with 1 loss each. St. Mary's 3-1, St. Thomas 3-1, and Carleton 3-1 after the service error against Martin Luther. Then you have Hamlin at 3-2, McAllister 2-2, St. Kate's 2-2, Concordia 1-3, and St. Ben's finds himself at 1-3. There's a block. Wildcats got the block party set up tonight. Baker and Brewer team up on the block. It's the 6th of the night for St. Kate's. It's 8-5. Wildcats playing beautiful little volleyball match here tonight against Martin Luther. That ball kept alive by Brownlee. Nicely done as the Wildcats send it back for Martin Luther. They go into the middle and misfire. Was it touched at the net? Yes, it was. The kill for Ruth Buckholtz. Got to call out Brownlee on that last try. She did well just to keep that ball alive, swinging her arm at it. 8-6 your score. Taylor Weber serves. Look at this pass. Radke right to the right side, and it's buried. Emily Carmen has her third kill, and it's 9-6. Wildcats look really good tonight. They really are having a nice match. Anytime you hit 474 in the first set, you've done something well, and I can't imagine it's much lower than that right now in this second set. 9-6, whistling serve sent over. Byhart's doing the setting, and the Wildcats send it back. Wildcats wanted a carry. They don't get the whistle, but Baker puts it down. So Peyton Baker makes the most of it, has her second kill. Todd Nelson wanted a carry, didn't get the call. It looked close from up here. But the Wildcats, just as they were in the first set, are the first to double digits. It's 10-6. Hack Barth bumped over into the middle, and that one's going to be out. It was a hitting error for Brewer, who missed long. And now 10-7 after the hitting error. Byhart will get a breather. And Haley Stade will come in and do the setting. Schwarzrock sets left side, and Pepper has another kill. Schwarzrock relieves Radke and makes a perfect set for Mackenzie Pepper. Her fourth kill for Pepper. She had 3 in the first set. That's her first here in the second. And Baker goes back to serve. She's got an ace. Whoa. Weber got her feet gridlocked, and it's an ace for Peyton Baker. 4th of the night for St. Kate's. It's 12-7. Wildcats on top by 5. Martin Luther has to be careful, or the Wildcats are going to run away and hide as they did in that first set, and another ace. The 5th of the night for St. Kate's, and that forces the hand of Rebecca Cox. She takes her first time out. It's 13-7. The Wildcats on top by 6. Klein Nissan, your home for new and used Nissans, serving the entire Twin Cities area from Maplewood. And when your new or used vehicle needs auto service or car repair, visit them at 3090 Highway 61 North. Klein Nissan, thanks for letting us prove our passion and dedication to the Nissan brand. Welcome back into St. Paul in the Butler Center. 13-7 lead for the Wildcats here in set number 2 over Martin Luther. Matt Nelson back with you for TJ Sports Online.net. Schultz kept that block alive, and Kish got a hand on the swing for Martin Luther, but it's Kira Grev's second kill of the night. Grev scores out of the timeout. It's 13-8. Wildcats by 5. If you're just joining us late, the Wildcats win set number 1, 25-12. Drop us an email. Let us know where you're listening from tonight. We'd love to hear from our listeners, as Brewer has her 5th kill, leading all scores tonight. 14-8 score. WildcatsBooth@gmail.com. We love hearing from Wildcats fans, hearing from Knights fans. Let us know that you're listening tonight and enjoying some great non-conference volleyball. Low liming serve. Brewer had lots of miles per hour behind that one. Kept alive at the net by flatness. They set Cruiser who attacks and scores. Libby Cruiser muscled it right on through the block, and the Wildcats go on top by 7. 15-8 now the score. Brewer serves. She's got an ace. Oh, you can chase it down if you'd like. Taylor Weber, good effort, but an ace for the Wildcats, who are serving tough. Kelly Brewer has the 6th ace of the night for St. Kate's. It's 16-8. All St. Kate's. St. Germain passes ahead for Stade. Wildcats turn it away. It's kept alive. Schultz swings right side. She's blocked. Martin Luther's there to dig that one alive. Bumped back over, and Schultz can't send it back. Good bit of back row play by Schwarzrock. And the crowd is feeling this Wildcat dominance in set number 2. 17-8. Cats by 9. Weber pass ahead. Stade sets for Schultz, who can only bump it over the block. Wildcats get it to Cruiser. Off balance attack was good enough. Weber couldn't handle it. And Cruiser has her 5th kill. 18-8, a double-digit lead for St. Kate's. Now Weber, St. Germain for Martin Luther. She's got the kill. Jade St. Germain, her 4th. Now it's 18-9. Wildcats led by as many as 10 here. If you're just joining us in set number 2. Set 1 was all Wildcats, 25-12. And that's a service error. It missed wide. Wildcats lead it again by 10. The service error for the Knights is their 3rd of the night against 1 ace. Wildcats so far 6 aces, 2 errors. Donna Radke goes back to serve, the junior from Muskego, Wisconsin. And her serve, Schultz works it ahead for Stade. Backing out of the middle there and scoring is Ruth Buckholz, sophomore out of Phoenix. All the way from the desert to New Ulm to play for Martin Luther. Now 19-10 your score. As we'll get our first look at Emma Nelson here tonight. Nelson steps in. Kish for Radke, stepping up and swinging away, and scoring is Emily Carmen. It was blocked out of bounds. It's the 4th kill for Carmen, and it looks like Rebecca Cox wants to keep that timeout. She still has 1 left, but right now deferring to keep it in her back pocket and let her team play through it. Nelson serves. They'll set St. Germain, and no touch at the net as St. Germain misses wide. It's 21-10, and as dominant as St. Kate's was in set number 1, they've been equally as dominant here in the second frame. 21-10, Nelson serving. Forces yet another subpar pass. Attacking there, though, and scoring it was Mariah Hackbarth. Hackbarth, her 2nd kill. And it cuts the St. Kate's lead again back to 10. Good opportunity to shout out Athletics Director Eric Stacy. Caught up with him prior to the match tonight. Had a great conversation. And Communications Director Kelsey Whaley for all of her hard work to make the broadcast possible. As a service ace for Martin Luther. That's their 2nd. 21-12. Kish Ahead for Radke. She'll set the right side. And that one's going to go flying over the Knights bench. It's the 5th kill of the night for Emily Carmen. 22-12. A 10-point lead for St. Kate's with Kish at the service line. Forced another poor pass. It's Weber. And that attack by Hackbarth is short. Hitting error makes it 23-12. And now Rebecca Cox will burn that final timeout. 23-12 is the score. If you're in the Twin Cities for shopping, sports, visiting, or maybe just that weekend getaway, why not stay at the Best Western Plus out in Bloomington? That's just across Killebrew Drive from the Mall of America. Their professional staff specializes in true hospitality. Gorgeous decor all the way throughout, and the best in-house dining at the Red Rosa Italian Grill. Check out bestwesternbloomington.com for details. (23-12) the score. Wildcats on top in this second set. Cone US provides industry-leading elevators, escalators, auto walks, and innovative solutions for sustainable maintenance and modernization. Call their customer care center 877-276-8691 to find their nearest office. Back to work at the Butler Center with Grev attacking on left side. Turned away by the Wildcat block, and a carry is going to be called. They try to set Heckbarth on the right side. It was hit twice, and it's set point yet again. Wildcats, if they can close it out here, it would be deja vu. 25-12 was the score in the first set. Wildcats could match that mark here with Kish at the service line. They'll set left side. Grev dug out of the back row by Nelson. Radke chases down, and she hit it twice. Wire to wire, though, this has been a more impressive set for St. Kate's. Early in set number 2, it was close up until about, I think, 9-8, and then the Wildcats ran away with it. 24-13 the score. Still set point. Overpass. Kept alive. Martin Luther couldn't put it down. Baker, she scores and clinches it. Peyton Baker's 3rd kill clinches this one for the Wildcats. They win set number 2, 25-13. It's all Wildcats tonight in St. Paul. Jimmy John's, with over 60 locations across the metro area to serve you with gourmet sandwiches delivered freaky fresh and freaky fast. They also cater parties large and small. Go online to check out their menu. Wildcats on top 2-0. We'll see if they can sweep the Knights when we come back. Wildcats lead it 2-0 from St. Paul. Check out Shapco Printing, a full-service print solution provider producing the highest quality print communications reliably and consistently for their customers across the globe. Shapco has received numerous awards from a variety of prestigious organizations. They're located at 1109 Zane Avenue North in Minneapolis. Check out their website. It's shapco.com. Matt Nelson back with you on TJ Sports Online. .net. Our engineer tonight is Glenn Thompson, and Witchy's hanging in here hoping for a sweep, a Wildcat sweep in St. Paul. Good to see Witchy out and about. You never know where this guy's going to pop up. The hardest working man in broadcasting is that Tom Witchin. Yes, absolutely. You've been called worse things. Happy to be with you here in St. Paul. Wildcats putting on a clinic here tonight. They hit 474 in the first set, and how about this? 600 in set number 2. They're hitting 538 through 2 dominant sets. Brewers hitting 571. Baker's hitting 500. Carmen's hitting 444. Cruiser's hitting 444, and they've outblocked Martin Luther 6-1. Very simply put, a dominant effort up until this point by St. Kate's. If you're a Wildcat fan, you got to really like what you've seen so far. Kish sets left side. Emma Nelson. Emma Nelson has her first kill. It comes on the left side. Wildcats score first here in set number 3. 1-0. Our broadcast is interactive tonight. We've heard from Duluth and Little Falls. Thank you guys for writing in. WildcatsBooth@gmail.com. Wildcat fans, I know, are enjoying this one. Cross-court shot by Grev, dug out. Left side, Nelson did well just to pick it out of the net and find the spot to drop it down. A little bit of creative volleyball there by Nelson. Wildcats winners of their last 2, trying to extend that streak to 3 here in the non-conference portion of their schedule. A little bit of missed timing there on that swing out of the middle by Martin Luther, so Pepper will give it a try. Weber's there to dig it out. Stade sets left side. Grev couldn't put it down. They set Nelson left side. That's dug out by Martin Luther. Now Grev again. Flat-footed roll shot. Nelson's there. Schwarzrock sets Nelson a kill. How about this crowd here tonight at the Butler Center? They're crazy. Big numbers and loud voices. And why not? They've had a lot to cheer for. 3-0 score. Serving is Schwarzrock. Rev out of the back row will give it a try. That's dug out by Schwarzrock. Kish sets right side. That's out of bounds. Pepper missed. And Martin Luther is on the board. Thank all of our sponsors of Wildcat Athletics for their support, as the Wildcats have put on a clinic so far in this one. Martin Luther trailing in set number 3, 3-1. Wildcats trying to sweep. Popped up, Kish kept it alive. Schwarzrock sent it over. Now St. Germain, left side try. Kish the dig there. Flat-footed try for Pepper. That's dug out by Martin Luther. Out of the middle, swinging away was Weissensell. She couldn't put it down. Wildcats tried Pepper. Again there now. Weber, Schultz. Blocked. Schultz kept it alive with her left hand. Weber sent it back for St. Germain. Dug out of the back row. Pepper tried the tip shot. That was blocked. Kish sends it back over. 2 hits for the night. Now 3. Weber over the net. Into the middle we go. Swinging and scoring is Kelly Brewer. Every time we've had one of these long rallies, it seems the Wildcats have been able to come out on top, and not by flukes or luck, but rather by sheer force. Brute power out of the middle for Kelly Brewer. Nelson, tough serve and an ace. 7 aces for the Wildcats. They're up 5-1. And Rebecca Cox is in her 9th season as head coach for the night. He's looking on and shrugs her shoulders, say, what can I do? St. Germain dug out of the back row. Wildcats playing with serious bounce in their step, and another kill. Pepper goes to the tip, and she has her 5th kill. It's 6-1. Don't the Wildcats look like they're in fast forward right now, and Martin Luther just a step slow? The effort has really been ratcheted up here tonight for St. Kate's. St. Germain left side. She kills it. A little slow call there, but it does come in, and St. Germain has her 5th kill. And that's, for those of you that have been listening along with me for over the past few years at various schools, you know I try to be as unbiased as possibly can be, but right now the effort, it just looks like Martin Luther's playing up a hill and St. Kate's is hitting down at it. Hitting error, St. Germain can't pick it out of the net, and it's 7-2 Wildcats. Kelly Brewer to serve. She raises her right hand and fires away, and she's got an ace. Boy, oh boy, that time it handcuffed Schultz. Brewer's ace is the 8th of the night for St. Kate's. They lead at 8-2. Set number 1, St. Kate's 25-12. Set number 2, 25-13. Now 8-2. Schultz better pass ahead. Here comes St. Germain with a hitting error. It's 9-2. And Rebecca Cox looking visibly frustrated and fatigued right now. 9-2 score. Into the middle this time, and that was a good one. Jenna Miller, who we haven't seen tonight, out of Combined Locks, Wisconsin, the senior, her first kill. Wasn't working on the pins, so Martin Luther pushes it into the middle and finds a kill and cuts the long run for St. Kate's. 9-3 the score. And Moldenhauer, the setter, 3 1/3 assists per set, back to serve it. Good high pass for Schwarzrock. It's tipped over, and the Wildcats thought it was down. It wasn't. Swung back over by Heckbarth. Wildcats will have to reset with Cruiser. Weber digs it out for the Knights. They set right side and score it there. Heckbarth, her 3rd. And Rebecca Cox, a big applause as their team now has gotten something going here. Back-to-back points. Those have been hard to come by tonight for Martin Luther. Moldenhauer serves. Setting right side. Pepper, Schwarzrock was kept alive. And on the 3rd contact, Miller bumped it over. Schwarzrock middle. And a score there for the Wildcats. Erin Tebbin. That's Tebbin's first kill tonight. She's a freshman out of New London. New London, Minnesota, where she went to New London Spicer High School. 10-4. Straight up, and Heckbarth couldn't put that one down. Dug out one-handed by Nelson. Here comes Cruiser. Bombs away at Grev, who keeps it alive. Now Grev, back row try is short. A hitting error for Grev. Pushes the Wildcats lead to 7, 11-4. My goodness. St. Kate's sends in Newman for the first time, and the southpaw serve is going to be an ace. So Newman has her first ace off of the bench, and Martin Luther has to take a timeout as they're being pummeled tonight by the Wildcats. Another Wildcat booster, McGough Construction. They're building for the next generation. Check them out at mcgough.com. The passion and commitment drives their reputation for quality. On a Wednesday night in St. Paul, we welcome you back in. Non-conference opener at home for the Wildcats with Newman at the service line. And Heckbarth pushes it up, but then it was carried by Martin Luther. 2 hits, and the lead is 13-4. with Newman at the service line. Newman briefly played for the St. Kate's basketball team, now exclusively volleyball, as that one's tipped over by St. Germain, her 6th kill. And 13-5. Steph Key in for the first time. Now Newman will set the middle. That's turned away, kept alive by Kish. The back set goes to the right side, and Libby Cruiser has her 6th kill. We're seeing both teams getting a little deeper into their bench as the Wildcats push their lead to 9, 14-5 the score. Libby Cruiser back at the service line, and she nearly had an ace, but it was chased down by Grev. Now Newman has a chance to set the left side. Newman scores it. Nicely done. Good work by Newman and Nelson. 4th kill for Nelson. It's a 10-point lead for St. Kate's. 15-5. Cruiser heads back to serve. It's been all St. Kate's, and an ace. Boy, that hit Steph Key right in the chops. Cruiser, the 9th ace of the night for the Wildcats. And Rebecca Cox is going to let them play on. 16-5. And that probably would have gone long. Grev probably did the Wildcats a favor. Newman sets left side again. Nelson dug out by Steph Key. Now Grev gets a rip at it. Nelson was there and waiting for it. Newman will try Nelson again. The tip was blocked, kept alive. Kish, now Nelson taps it over, and the Knights will reset it. Here we go. It was Hackbarth on the try, and now it was Carmen turned away. Newman will send it over on 3rd contact into the middle, and a hitting error for the Knights. Jenna Miller mishit it. It's 17-5. Big crowd here tonight for the Wildcats, and they've given them a show. They hit 474 in the first set, 600 in the second set. They're probably somewhere around there in this set. Service error that time, their 3rd of the night, and it's 17-6. Newman sets that one for Nelson, and a hitting error for Nelson as she missed long. But that Newman-Nelson combination off the bench has been pretty good. Pretty formidable. 10-point lead, 17-7. Serving is Miller. Newman will try for Nelson again. There's a good one. Nelson is firing. She's got her 5th kill. It's 18-7, 11-point lead for St. Kate's as they go for their most dominant set so far. Only surrendered 12 points in the first set, 13 in the second. 7 so far in this one. It's 18-7. Kish serving. Grev works it ahead. Right side try. It was Hackbarth. Dug out on an overpass and put down by Weissensell. Riley Weissensell has her 1st kill. Averages more than 1 a set, behind on her season average, but she's on the board, and it's 18-8. Center stage serves. Newman goes into the middle. Wildcats can hammer it through that block, and it was touched. I thought it was touched at the net for certain. Now they're going to say it is Martin Luther's point. That would have made a long night even longer. Grace Schultz with her best swing of the night. Clearly it was touched at the net. And initially they signaled Wildcats point, but that was, you could hear it, you could see it, you could everything it. And our official with a little wry smile just said, I got my signals crossed. It's a bit like when you put the shoe on the wrong foot. You know who got the point, but you just can't stop your hand from going up. And let's face it, more times than not, tonight the officials have been signaling point for St. Kate's. Back row, Grev. Good looking roll shot as Grev scores her 3rd kill. Grev's had plenty of swings as St. Germain comes in for Steph Key. And the lead at 10 for St. Kate's. Very comfortable. And that one looked like it was drifting out, but the Wildcats will play it as Pepper thought it was hit twice. Now that's going to be about 8 contacts on that side of the net for Martin Luther. Mackenzie Pepper has her 6th kill. It's 20-9. And the Wildcats were trying to get this done inside of an hour. We just hit the 60-minute mark in this match. It's 20-9. And that serve was long. A service error is the 4th of the night. But beyond just the 9 service errors, St. Kate's has really served tough as well. Haley Brownlee will come in for Libby Cruiser and get a high five from Todd Nelson on her way back to the bench. Weber serving to her counterpart Kish and tipped by Brownlee. Martin Luther goes into the middle, and that looked like it was long. That certainly looked like from up here that had gone long, but they say it was in. Todd Nelson, that's going to cause a stink. He's up by 9, and his team has been cruising all night long. So we'll say it was in, and a kill for Martin Luther. Now attacking and scoring the left side pin hitter Brownlee. Bailey Brownlee has her first kill. It's 21-11. Oh, that was a nasty serve. That sucker's knuckling around, but Martin Luther manages to send it back with Weber. Into the middle, the Wildcats go and they score. Aaron Tebbins, 2nd kill, makes it 22-11. The Wildcats have doubled up Martin Luther till this point in this 3rd set. Another tough serve that Weber couldn't get much on. Grev back row, roll shot. Worked ahead, and now Brownlee was blocked. Wildcats managed to pick it over the net and somehow send it back. Wow, that was nicely done. St. Germain will load and fire. That's dug out of the back row. Here comes Nelson with a roll shot. Weber digs that one out nicely. Right side trying is Schultz, and she got it down. Grace Schultz has her 3rd kill. It's 22-12. Now Martin Luther will try St. Germain, and St. Germain leads all scores for Martin Luther. That's now her 7th kill. Upcoming schedule for the Wildcats this weekend, or actually Friday, UW River Falls, Linfield, and UW Superior and Knox in that tournament before coming home next week to take on St. Ben's on Wednesday night. Wildcats get a kill out of the middle. It's 22-13. Wildcat of the night was Mackenzie Pepper on today's program. Osceola, Wisconsin, majoring in nursing. And she said if she wanted to play another sport at St. Kate's, it would be soccer, her favorite sports team, the Green Bay Packers, but we're not allowed to say that on this air. It's match point, 24-13. Wildcats going for a sweep. Martin Luther will try St. Germain, and she'll keep the match alive for now for Martin Luther with her 8th kill. 24-14 the score. So still match point. And Newman, a good set into the middle, dug out of the back row. The Knights will try Grev on the left side. Wildcats trying to send us home happy in St. Paul, and they'll do just that. Emily Carmen has her 6th kill, and the Wildcats win 25-14. The Wildcats sweep set number 1, 25-12, set number 2, 25-13, and set number 3. Todd Nelson in his first Butler Center match wins 25-14. What a night. Carmen gets the clincher. Her 6th kill. Nelson had 5. Brewer had 6. The Wildcats served tough all night long with 9 service aces, and they blocked Martin Luther to the tune of something like 8-1. We want to again thank our sponsors tonight: Twin Cities Orthopedics, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators, Klein Nissan, U.S. Bank, Jimmy John's, Loeffler Business Solutions, McGough Construction, Shapko Printing, the Hickey Family, Eckberg and Lammers, Attorney at Law, the DLR Group, Daddy and Gardner, Attorneys at Law. Joining us this year as well, E&E Masonry, the Newman Family, Becker Floors, Protect Design and Munchie's Frozen Yogurt, Goodmanson Construction, the Opus Group, People's Electric Co-op, and the Ryan Company. Our engineer tonight is Glenn Thompson. I'm Matt Nelson. Tom Witchen stopped by as well as the Wildcats dominate in their home opener at the Butler Center, and they sweep Martin Luther again 25-12, 25-13, and 25-14, and probably will have their highest hitting percentage of the season tonight. They were in another world, 474 in first set, 600 in the second set, and somewhere around that in the third set as well. So for Athletics Director Eric Stacy and Kelsey Willey in Athletic Communications, this is Matt Nelson signing off from St. Paul. We'll talk to you again in a week as the Wildcats will be in MIAC action, the first for Todd Nelson, as the Wildcats will host St. Ben's. Until we talk to you again, we'll say good night, enjoy the rest of your week, and go Wildcats!